The Power Rangers franchise, as we know it, is over. After 30 years and 3 different owners, the most recent IP holder, Hasbro, has decided to pull the plug on the past and make way for a new, by auctioning off all the props, suits, and various other items to make some money to start. I think that's why they did it. I mean, it also probably costs a lot to keep the warehouses running, and then a lot of the older masks are deteriorating, and anyway. Initial fan reaction to the auction news was less than favorable, to say the least. Myself included. More so, that a lot of the actors and stunties weren't even notified ahead of time that the suits that were specifically tailored for them were going to be auctioned off without them even having a chance to get it themselves before. But that's a whole different discourse. However, as the live auction commenced, there was one bidder who stood out among the rest. One bidder who became infamous with how much he was able to win, with how much money he had. Spoiler, a lot. One bidder who has now become, low-key, kind of a fandom icon. An all-around cool guy. Bidder 102. But who is he? Why did he buy all this? How did he even get the money? And how did he become such an icon? And join me as we search for the answers to all of these questions and more. As we find out, who is Bidder 102? Lola. I'm looking back at my script that I wrote 3 months ago. I filmed this earlier in my life, but everything was blurry. I was out of focus and I didn't focus right. So now we're back to camcorder Joe. Yeah, try to be all budget and stuff because I have a new camera. Hello, TokuTuber. You don't know me and you don't need to. A sentence fitting for both me and our topic of the day, Bidder 102. But before we can answer the question of who he is, we need to recap on the important stuff that pertains to him. You know, for context and stuff, and totally not padding and yeah. If you don't already know, and I really hope you do, Power Rangers is one of the longest running children's TV series that adults watch. Well, was one of the longest running children's TV series that adults watch, but we'll get to that in a second. Adapting a Japanese long-running children's TV series that adults watch called Super Sentai, Power Rangers sought to capture Sentai success for a Western audience. It worked, to say the least. However, in terms of mainstream media, PR just never really got the success of other long runners like The Muppets or any Disney-related thing. Ironically, even under Disney's ownership, they never really got that same mainstream media attention. The average viewer would only be able to recall just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as that really cool theme from the 90s that grew out, and oh, it's still on? Anyway, Power Rangers ran on for 30 years, starting all the way with MMPR adapting Kyoryu Sentai Zyurenjin's fight footage and sometimes story. Not really. The basic story is this. Empress of Evil Rita Repulsa wakes up from her nap in a space dumpster because there are homeless people in space too, and she decides to continue her plan from 10,000 years ago of conquering Earth, which, if you look at what the Earth looked like 10,000 years before 1993, she easily could have enslaved us all. Anyway, when the Space Witch wakes up, a space wizard named Zordon senses her arrival and tells his robotic friend to find 5 people who can harness the power of dinosaurs to defeat Rita and her forces, because he's kind of stuck in a giant test tube and he can't do it himself even though he's literally a space wizard. And so they settle on 5 high school freshmen? kinda hard to tell their age. They were originally supposed to be seniors, but they kept the set for Angel Grove High, and it's just all sorts of messed up. I get that it helps with relatability with kids to look up to older teens doing good for the planet, but it does raise some questions for probable child soldier stuff. Anyway, Zordon recruits 5 kids in this war against Rita because the average American teenager's fight or flight response always leans towards fight, and they can handle it, and also they're pretty good people nonetheless. And then it became a nationwide success, and then it became a global success once the Green Ranger showed up. Cool guy. And then the show went on for 30 years, spanning many different stories and characters of all ages becoming heroes and protectors of Earth, and also changing filming locations because money. Which means they had to transport all their props and suits from LA to New Zealand in 2002 or so. And then the last show was filmed in New Zealand up until 2022, when the last season, Cosmic Fury, was filmed, but wasn't aired until 2023. Then after that, nothing. Hasbro decided they wanted to take the franchise in a new direction. Said direction is currently in production hell as far as we know. And then, in the summer of 2024, an auctioneering company named Heritage Auctions announced that there would be an auction for all 900 lots of Power Rangers warehouse items, with Hasbro listing them all on the website in October. And I totally forgot that I saw the initial announcement for the auction, so when October came around, I was all like, what is Heritage Auctions? Let's start with defining what an auction even is. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines auction as a sale of property to the highest bidder, or the act or process of bidding in some card games, or to sell at auction. The Oxford Dictionary defines auction as a public sale in which things are sold to the person who offers the most money for them. And that's as much time as I'm gonna put into the definition joke. We got a video to continue with, people. Basically, it's like eBay, but for people who can actually afford stuff. Except it's in real life and online, and I'm doing a really bad job on defining this on purpose because y'all should have a general idea of how auctions work. We all saw that one episode of Loop Hat. Okay, now that I think about it, the whole fandom discourse about the whole auction could be a good episode, actually. Anyway, the site that Hasbro put all of the stuff up on is called Heritage Auctions. From their About Us page, we can learn more about who they are and what they stand for. About Heritage Auctions. Why Heritage exists. Collecting valuable objects uniquely rewards owners with beauty, history, personal satisfaction, and more. Unfortunately, new collectors often overpay for these objects and become disillusioned, while inexperienced owners and heirs routinely receive too little when selling. For collecting to become a more credible and inclusive vehicle for wealth creation, the playing field between experts and novices must be level. Our motive. For more information on charity auctions and philanthropic support, please visit ha.com/charity. Boy, that sure was a lot of reading. Anyway, so on October 10th, the online auction began, and people started to bid on items and stuff, blah blah blah. People bid way too much on the Cosmic Fury red suit to spite Hunter Dino for no actual good reason, blah blah blah. And then that was that. People kept track of the bids, but it was still pretty silent until the live auction that I also completely forgot was happening took place. Now, I had missed any sort of live stream of the event because I was at work both days. Cut to me at work. But when I got home and scrolled through Twitter, there was one person in particular that had nearly everyone on TokuTuber that I follow hyped. And his name is Bitter102. And I'm only realizing how harsh this lighting on is on myself. But how did he become such an icon? I'll have to take to the live streams to find out. And that is around 13 to 14 hours. Oh my god. Did I really listen to all 13 or 14 hours of this auction? Who's to say? But I had to find out why everyone loved this guy, you know? And yes, his pronouns are he, him. He confirmed this in a tweet. Speaking of, I'm just gonna go off one of his tweets of what he was able to get, because I don't know if I have the attention span to sit through 13 hours worth of, oh wow, he paid $3K for the Meow Ranger suits? He possibly couldn't have spent more on anything else, right?
Thank you, sir. You are 102, yes? Perfect. Thank you. It's 102. Okay. 102.
To bidder 102. Congratulations. 102. And that's bidder 102. Congratulations. 102. That's bidder 102. Congratulations. Bidder 102. Congratulations. Bidder 102. Congratulations. And that's bidder 102. Congratulations.
Bidder 102, yes. Congratulations. Bidder 102, thank you. Bidder 102, congratulations. Bidder 102, thank you, and congratulations. Bidder 102, thank you, and congratulations again. Fantastic. Bidder 102, thank you, and congratulations again.
He paid for that many Shadow Rangers? Altogether, it's like... a lot. Surely he wouldn't be able to afford anything the next day, right? Right?
And that's bidder 10. You're 102, right? All right. Congratulations. Bidder 102. Congratulations.
102. Thank you. Bidder number 102. Number 102. 4,600. The bidder number 102. Congratulations. Bidder number 102. Bidder number 102.
That's bidder 102. Congratulations. 102. Congratulations. 102. Congratulations. Bidder 102. Congratulations.
102. Thank you. 4,200. Okay, 3,400 to...
I'm no financial advisor, but that's a lot of money he spent over the course of 2 days. I see the vision now. Simply put, Bidder 102 is a Power Rangers fan, an absurdly well-off Power Rangers fan. I mean, 18K just for the Kruger suit? Holy goddamn. God, what I would do to have just a fraction of that money. I can see why everyone's tweeting about him. People theorizing about who he is or what he's gonna do with what he bought. People jokingly asking him to get them stuff. People jokingly saying that they were him. It got to the point where the man himself joined Twitter to mingle with the rest of us fans, and oh wow, he follows me, that's cool. Of course he follows me. I asked his permission to even do this video. I should probably ask him how he even heard about everyone talking about him. Pay no mind to the time I asked. I work late.
Oh, I should probably ask. How did you even hear that people on TokuTuber were talking about you, and how did that lead to your decision to make this account?
Someone else in the room showed me a comment on Twitter saying bidder 102 must be stopped. It made me chuckle and also piqued my curiosity, so I opened Twitter and just did a search for bidder 102 and found quite a few posts and comments of various tone and message. I actually spent the evening after the first day of the auction looking through them all and thinking about it. Originally, I never had any plan of making an account. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought it might be important to do so. If for no other reason than to show that at the end of the day, I'm a fan and my purchase goals were about preservation and not pure personal greed. Pleasant surprise was discovering the entire community as a result. I honestly had no clue TokuTuber was a thing until Monday at the auction.
I and everyone else are so glad that you thought about the preservation more than anything. And yeah, TokuTWT is a fun ride. Welcome.
I was really happy to see that my appearance on Twitter was a welcome relief and eased a few fears I was seeing.
What fears did you have, if you don't mind me asking? And yeah, you're a pretty chill dude. Of course we're gonna welcome a pretty chill dude.
I think the concern was going to be other fans just being mad no matter what. We don't care if you're preserving it. These should go to someone else, some cause, somewhere. I feel like you can never be sure how people are going to react. I don't expect that sort of aggression, but I've had enough experience in other places that I'm always a bit cautious. The other matter is just that, with my purchase list out there now, anyone can calculate how much I spent. It's not a small amount, and for anyone to just be able to make purchases like I did would likely draw a fair bit of attention. I might not stay bidder 102 forever, but at least while things are still fresh I'd rather keep the helmet on. Just as a bit of precaution. I like to think everyone understands that, and why. Little bit of lore for you. I am an only child and grew up in a single-parent household, relatively sheltered. I've learned quite a lot in my life, but each day is a new experience. That can be amazing. But it can also be difficult. That's why I'm being so cautious.
Oh, I totally get that. Fans of anything can be a bit much sometimes. I was never really active in the conversation for anything Toku related online for a long time because of how some fans can be, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I think when the auction first went up, a lot of us were like, these should go to the actors, but if they can't, at least someone who cares about the franchise and can properly preserve these and not some private collector who will never let any of it see the light of day.
The SPD green suit and uniform will be going to the actor. That was my intention for those pieces from the start. The rest will be preserved to be enjoyed. I look forward to taking things a day at a time with the fandom online.
Huh, okay. He had no idea that TokuTuber was a thing until that Monday. Good job us for welcoming him with open arms. Anyway, without actively revealing his identity, he did give us snippets of lore dumps. Hey, so, I know I'm not the first person to say this, but I don't know what you do to be self-employed, but if you're hiring, I do have many skills, like video editing, and being able to touch my toes when I stretch. At the end of the day, Bitter 102 seems like a pretty chill guy whom the fandom accepted with open arms, not just because they were memeing about him being able to afford any of this, but because he genuinely seems like a cool person and actually cares about the franchise and wants to be able to properly preserve what he bought, and he was even able to send Matt Sadowski and stuff at the very least. Also, if you are thinking about doing an SPD Mystic Force type thing, I do have experience as a production assistant, but also that probably wouldn't be in your hands at that point, huh? I don't know. No, seriously, I don't know. I never asked, nor did I want to pry. I respect his privacy, and everyone else should too. For me, his anonymity is kinda cool. Mixing this mysterious character of us all. I love how I say of us all like I'm a TokuTuber, or if he's like a TokuTuber. I don't know, and no one knows, and that's the beauty of it. We don't need to know his identity, we're not owed that, but we know who he is as Bitter 102, and that's good enough for me. Maybe the real Bitter 102 was the friends we made along the way. It's this guy, I swear on my life it's this guy. I'm just gonna sneak peek. Show picture of tire handle from the Room Rungers is written in my script. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I still think it's funny.